Human rights advocate and founder of the ACT Foundation, Angela Drummond says abuse against women in marriages and other relationships will continue unless the right social structures are put in place. Reacting to cases of abuse by some women at the hands of their husbands, she said these incidents must be treated as crimes so the culprits are brought to book.
There are 4 approaches. There's a preventive approach, the provision approach, the prosecution approach, and the protection approach. These 4 P's, as I call them, must be in place at any time in any society to be able to effectively or to a certain large extent handle domestic violence. The preventive approach is the kind where, there's a lot of education in the society, across communities, schools, everywhere, where we just say that, you can't do these things and get away with it. There are some people who appear to think it's a normal thing to abuse a woman, and they have to have, be sensitized and educated that no, it's a crime, it is also against the person's human rights, and you can be punished for it. Until we're able to do this kind of sensitization in a mass way and consistently, people will not just let go these kinds of attitudes. Secondly, when it happens, we must protect people. And that's where the police and the other legal systems and structures should come in. And then also there must be provision. When you go to the police, it's not just the police. You sometimes need the social services. You need a clinical psychologist. You need somebody who will help with maintenance of the children if it should come to that. So all the services that need to be provided when somebody has suffered this kind of violence must also be in place. Some of them are in place, but they are scattered. They are not coordinated. And that's one of the reasons why even though we have a law on domestic violence in this country, the structures set up under the law are not being given the kind of capacity they need to coordinate these activities. That's why I keep saying that it isn't as though there is nothing. There are some things, but somebody has to ensure that these things are working from ground up. Finally is the 4th one, the prosecution side. Anytime the state doesn't take these things seriously in terms of investigation and prosecution, impunity rises. Okay, so yes, some of the societies, abroad, like the Nordic countries, have done well with these 4 P's. So even though they do have domestic violence, which is not going to stop anytime soon, okay, they're able to handle it to a certain large extent.
All right.
Much better than we have, not because we don't have systems. Abiba can still activate her rights with the police. Now, some of us have worked with organizations that have tried to handle these kinds of problems for a long time. So, unfortunately, we are not in the north. Assuming Abiba was here, she could come to our crisis center. You see, the difference we would make is that because we are following the case, it's more difficult for the state agencies not to do what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying that it makes the approach perfect. It just happens that because people know that somebody is following up on a case, they are more likely to want to do it well because they know that you won't rest on your hours if they don't do what is expected. Say she shouldn't give up. In every district, there's a DOFSU. She should go to a DOFSU. And there are some sensitized police people there. If they don't do well, I mean, if she can find me somewhere on Facebook or wherever on the net, we could intervene to a certain extent. It's not totally hopeless.
The former executive director of the CDD Ghana, Professor Jim Abadi, has described the composition of the Justice Emil Short Commission as too narrow. The commission, inaugurated by the Vice President on Friday to probe the shootings that occurred during the Ayawaso West Wogomba election, is chaired by Justice Emil Short and has Professor Mensa Bunsu and Patrick Ichampong as its members, with Kofi Abochi of Gimpa Law serving as its scribe. But the erstwhile boss of democracy think tank, CDD, thinks the commission's composition is too loaded with lawyers. This, he says, poses the danger of shifting the Commission's focus narrowly into the legal and constitutional realm.
The composition is a bit too narrow, confined as it were to lawyers. It's not that it's a bad idea, it's not a good idea to have lawyers involved in these things, but to have such a commission investigating the hydra-headed nature, the problem of this hydra-headed nature and complexity, a problem that is rooted in our, at least recent history of democracy in the Fourth Republic, rooted in the increasingly scorched earth competition between the MPP and the NDC as the two main political forces of the land. A phenomenon that is getting uglier by the day and likely to get uglier. Something that evolves and speaks to the political economy of Ghana, the political culture we have evolved, very terrible political culture we've been involved in. I think that it's important that this commission includes somebody with expertise in security sector matters, at the very least, and if possible, the social or political scientists with grounding, whose research and output are grounded in the politics of Ghana, the political economy of Ghana, and the political culture of Ghana.
Professor Jim Abadi also called for the extension of the 1-month working period given the commission by the Vice President. Well, we'll air the full interview. That was conducted with Kujo Yankson later on the show. Now let's move on. And the Minister of Reorganization and Development, Dan Botwe, has described as untrue and baseless claims by the chiefs and people of Nkranza Traditional Council that he, the Minister Dan Botwe, and his deputy Martin J. Kosa working against them as government gets ready to name the new regional capitals. According to these chiefs, the central location of Nkranza makes it well placed and accessible enough to be named the Bono East Regional Capital. But Mr. Dan Botwe says the selection of the regional capitals will be decided by the President based on applications that have so far been received.
It's totally untrue. It's baseless. I don't want to believe any chief might have held that press conference, because chiefs are revered people who hold them very high esteem. They speak to what is only true, because that's what they swear to do, because it's absolutely untrue. I've had a glance of the press conference. The last time I represented Mr. President at the Apple Festival in Techiman, I've not been to Techiman. It's not true. I've paid any private visit there. So it's totally untrue. How a chief or some opinion leaders can make such a claim when it's totally untrue, it beats my imagination. 2, it is not true that I've said I've not received any application. All those who have applied to have their towns chosen as regional capitals, the applications are received here and they are all filed. In any case, they are addressed to Mr. President. We only receive our copy and file them. So there's no way we have said that we have not received their copy, because all those letters are addressed to Mr. President. They copy us and we file them. A file in my office that contains all these applications from the 6 different proposed regions. So that's also absolutely untrue. So this is coming from people who are just picking pieces and pieces which have no basis and then piecing them together to stage manage something because of this obsession of regional capital. All those who have applied, they have all advanced reasons why they think that their town should be chosen as a regional capital. And they have signed reasons. Some are very nice booklets and all that. There are advanced arguments for that. But they all have been forwarded to Mr. President. And Mr. President has looked at it for over a month now. And I'm sure Mr. President will make a decision.
And let's go to the Ashanti region. And a section of traders at the Kejitia market who were taken off the street and pavement of Kumasi are threatening to return to their trading posts. They want authorities to speed up the opening of the new central market project or face off with them on the street. The multi-million-dollar market project is about 95% complete, but close to business. Traders want the facility commissioned. Nana Sensu-Mensah has been bringing us the latest update.
Authorities are yet to fix a date for the reopening of the first phase of the Kejitia Central Market project. The edifice is about 95% complete and expected to improve business transaction within the city center. City authorities have opened roads leading to the central business district, but traders who were relocated to pave way for the project say they cannot wait any longer. They want authorities to speed up the process. Meanwhile, a joint task force of police, military and fire service are on standby to prevent traders from returning to unauthorized trading points.
So this is the very place where the traders were doing their business when these streets were closed to traffic. Now this is the main street that links Bantima and the main central business district, Kejitia or Doom. Now the displaced traders are complaining that authorities must open the new market so that they can go in and do their business.
Give us a permanent location to sell our wares. We wouldn't like to be relocated to race course. Food stuff are only sold there and the place is dusty. We can't sell our second-hand clothes there.
They say Katie will be 2 million Ukraine. Eh, oh my idea. I must say, Kwana Emuna Itiama first, not person ba free.
Kejitia is spacious and looks good now, but the other side of Kejitia, where the traders are, is congested. I suggest space should be created for them in the newly constructed market to ease movement of passers-by.
Much baby diamay. Must enco a fair could be market. Our fair could be the same. Bambo be any was ya call one of pay.
The opinion is on be cake and a tomb. Near you not ton ya dear. Because near ton dance on the pie Chelsea or maybe cake my. You will say as some part in your free abocor. Let's come be last year. So date you wouldn't tell my name to be. So political propaganda say mischievous.
You were told this was a temporary place for us traders till the completion of the Kejitia terminal, but the market was supposed to be opened a year ago, so we could start our businesses. Till date, it's still closed. Nana Sensu-Mensah reporting.
Well, let's go to the Western region. And the prime suspect in the case of the kidnapping of 3 females in the regional capital Takoradi on Monday caused quite a stir in court when he claimed he was aided by a police officer in his cell break. Samuel Odotek Wales told the Takoradi District Magistrate Court a CID officer and a man he only identified as Kwesi assisted him. The families of the victims are meanwhile threatening yet another demonstration if the police fail to make progress in their investigations. In Athalia Kwanza now reports.
On December 30, the suspect was reported to have cut the iron rods used to secure the ventilation window and escaped at the blind side of the police. Samuel Odotek Wales is accused of kidnapping at least 3 girls in Takoradi and its environs. According to the police, he had been uncooperative with investigation. The suspect missed his last court appearance because he was apparently sent to Accra for some aspects of the investigation. He has been charged with 3 offences, which he pleaded not guilty. The 3 charges are escaping from lawful custody, causing unlawful damage and resisting arrest. During his second court hearing, he says he was not guilty of escaping from lawful custody and causing unlawful damage with an explanation. His revelation caused a lot of tension as families and relatives expressed disappointment in the Ghana Police Service.
The president is also listening to what is going on. But as I came to court this morning, I am so much disappointed in Ghana Police. Because the kind of information that we've been giving to the police for the arrest of this guy. And today for us to come to the court and hear that the CID assisted the guy, then it means all the information that we've been giving to the police, it means a policeman can stand there and a foreign person can just come and kill a Ghanaian and go for free.
We want the police to invite the said Kwesi and the CID over. How can the CID allow a prisoner access to a stranger's phone to speak? That means the police failed to do their job. The law doesn't permit a prisoner to speak on phone in the absence of an officer. Since he's been able to mention Kwesi and the CID, why don't you invite them over for questioning? That's all we want.
The sister of Ruth Kwanzaa, one of the kidnapped girls, told JoyNews in Natalia Kwanzaa that they are giving the authorities a week's ultimatum or there will be a mammoth demonstration in the Western Regional Capital.
Like, seriously, honestly speaking, we don't know what is going on. Because for we to come here and sit for 5 minutes and they say they have adjourned the thing to on the 18th, it's like they are joking with us. Where is my sister? That's what we need. Where is my sister? Because escape from cells and whatever, we don't care about that thing. We want my sister. Because me, the way the situation is going, we will strike again. No, seriously, we will do something. Because the way the thing are going, we don't like it one bit. Serious. And if they don't tell us any good thing, we will strike again. Seriously, that one day, I will bet my life on it unless they kill me. Because the way the things is going, we don't understand. So seriously, we are begging, please, they have to do something. By the end of this week, we have to see our sister.
The court has adjourned the case to the 18th of February for suspect Samuel Udita Flores to bring his witness, Paul Kwesi. The hearing was presided over by His Worship Michael Mpiku.
Well, so that'll be it for the latest news update. We have more news. We'll review the newspapers. We'll also bring to you the latest traffic update, which is always courtesy traffic.com.gh. But please know, we have that interesting interview, a lot of discussions that went on as Kojo Yangsung had a great discussion with the former executive director of CDD Ghana, Professor Jim Abadi. Will also be at the Mervyn Peak Ambassador Hotel at 8:30 for some great business discussions. Please stay on for more updates.